It's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Been working, that work, it gets in the way, doesn't it? So I've been teaching some Spanish. I've got more classes later, so I can't be on very long today. Some of you will be glad to hear. Others, I know you like my waffle and you like to hear me chatting away. I haven't got much time. Monday's always a busy day. But had to come on because, things are being released now after the mushroom murder trial. I'm not going to mention the woman's name. She's just the mushroom murderess now, isn't she? You all know who she is. Guilty. The mushroom murderess, guilty of murdering these three poor people. Don, Gail, Heather, and nearly murdering Ian. And Ian thankfully survived, and he managed to give evidence, didn't he, at her trial. She's been found guilty on all counts. She has gone to prison. Look at that is her face, isn't it? That is that evil face. She is so evil, truly evil. I really do. I think she's probably one of the most evil murderers ever, because of the fact she sat there and watched them eat what she knew was going to kill them. And of course, she's gone to the hellhole. I've sent her in. Oh God, I said her name. I've sent her to the hellhole. Mind you, she hasn't been sentenced yet. And normally, when someone goes into the hellhole, then I don't mention their name ever again. She technically hasn't gone there yet because she hasn't been sentenced. Pinocchio emoji for this woman. It was literally was it anything she said actually the truth? Was it though? Was there anything she said that was the truth? Probably you just stood up and gave her name. That was about it as far as she was concerned, about telling the truth at her trial. And she hoped the jury would get taken in by her, didn't she? But they didn't. And they found her guilty unanimously. And good. And we're just waiting for sentencing now. But it's unlikely, isn't it, after murdering 3 people and trying to kill another? That's besides all the time she tried to kill her husband. It's unlikely that she ever will be released from prison. Anyway, so of course, following the trial, as always, then little bits of extra footage are coming out. What we're going to specifically look at today are some of the footage that's being released, and it's coming up on the news channels, and I'm, showing it from there. Her interview with the police. At the same table where she sat those poor people down and fed them the poison that was going to kill them, left them as dead people walking, said goodbye to them, accepted their prayers because for her cancer that she never had, that she told them she had cancer and she didn't. She accepted their prayers. She sat at this table that we're going to look at where she has the interview with the police. She sat at that table with them and accepted the prayers they said for her. Then she stood up after the meal, saw them all off at the door, said goodbye, thanks for coming, thanks for prayers, who knows what she said, knowing that they were now dead people walking, that she had fed them the death cap mushrooms that were going to kill them, and not only that, which is bad enough, but was going to kill them slowly, lingeringly, was going to really make them suffer. And boy, did they suffer. All these 4 people suffered. And Ian was the only one to come out on the other side and survive. Horrible, horrible woman. This woman, we cannot underestimate how horrible she is. Anyway, first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Very special thank you to my members. I've got very interesting members live coming up this week. I think they're all interesting. I hope they are. But we like to do something a little bit different, don't we, in the members' lives? And they're every Thursday, of course. So why not become a member and join us on Thursday for the exclusive members live? I also want to thank people who buy me Ko-fis, send me super stickers, send me nice emails, tell me about cases, leave nice messages, give me compliments. Thank you so much. All these support, all these ways of supporting my channel, free and otherwise, just really help me keep going. Thank you. Hope you've all had a good weekend, by the way. Okay. What else? So let's take off the banner. Now, I want to say hi to my lovely lurkers. Those are people who don't like to join in the chat but like to watch. Hi to loathsome lurkers and hi to replay crew. Thank you so much for watching. And now I'm going to come into the chat and say hi to all you guys that are brave enough to come in and interact with the chat. Oh, there's a lot of chatting going on. That's good. Oh, hi, David. How are you? Hi, Lily. Oh, and for those of you that are in the UK, have you got the storm yet? They keep saying there's going to be this. I noticed yesterday in the news that I was looking at, it was saying advice not to open your doors while this storm descends in the UK. When do they ever say that about don't open the door? What the hell's going on? People advise not to open their doors. What's in this storm? What's it carrying? I tell you, I'm very suspicious of all these storms. I'm sure they're spreading viruses around and things to try and keep the population down. Honest to God, nothing would surprise me at the moment. So, hi, David. Hi, Lily. Hi, Jane. Good day. Hi, my angel. Hi. Now, I haven't seen all this footage yet because I've just seen it. I didn't have time to watch it myself because I had to go into class. So, yeah, don't know why they've chose to release it. Of course, they say she's going to appeal, but I don't think, has she appealed yet? I'm not sure. Angel might be off shopping. Buy something nice. Be careful in the storm. Hi, Tracy. What? What can't be played in the background, Lily? Yeah, going out and coming back in again. Yeah. Jane, I think, I've always been interested in true crime. I think even really from when I was quite young. But then, I got really interested in it when I had a difficult experience myself. And then I started following certain things. But I think with everybody, there'll be one case that suddenly just sucks you in for whatever reason. Maybe I don't know, I think for this case of Erin Patterson, I've mentioned her name again, it's the normality of it, isn't it? I think the cases that normally draw people in the most are because they're crazy cases based around normal occurrences, like somebody walking their dog and disappearing, somebody, feeding beef Wellington to their relatives and poisoning them. So although they're bizarre happenings, they're based around normality, things we do every day, go to lunch at our relatives, take our dogs for a walk, you know, these kind of things that on, you know, or go for a hike, or things that we do that are normal, or it turns out to be someone who appears to all intents and purposes to be perfectly normal and turns out to be a demon in disguise. You know, these are the cases that interest us because they're real. I think once as well you start getting interested in true crime, other, you know, detective shows and things like that that maybe you used to like, you don't quite like them anymore because there's nothing so, what's the word, these detective shows, so most of the true crime things that we look at, if you put them in a detective show, people would not believe they could possibly have happened. They think it was unrealistic. So I think it's difficult to go back then. But I'll tell you what I did yesterday, and I'm still doing, is I started watching the Prime Suspect series, you know, the one with Helen Mirren, the original one, right from the beginning. I'm up to series 3 now. And it's fascinating. I mean, they're still good. I do enjoy watching them. And the reason why I like watching them as well is seeing the difference. God, the smoking that went on in that series 1. Oh my God. Everybody was smoking. There was just cigarettes everywhere. And you rarely see that now, do you? Because, of course, smoking's a no-no now. The other thing was the attitude of the police towards a female police officer. That probably still happens a little bit, but not like it used to. I like to see the old cars, you know, and they go in the pubs like as they used to be. And so, yeah, I've really enjoyed watching those. Oh, thank you, Angel. I love you too. Windy and rainy, warm winds. Oh, warm winds are always a sign of a storm coming, aren't they? Hi, Darren. Oh, it's okay now, Lily. Good. Okay. So, yeah, let's have a look at some of this evidence that's coming out. Now, I've got it on. So they've released some more video evidence of when she dumped the hydrator and things like that. So we'll start right at the beginning. I'm just going down all the information. Let's see. So, of course, all the news channels are playing these things. We'll start off with the interview. I mean, I do think when you look at this, it may, sorry, let me share it. Help if I shared it, wouldn't it? When I first looked at this, I mean, I haven't listened to it because I haven't had time, but I just looked at it. It gave me the chills that she was at the table where it happened. This is the, you know, the murder site, isn't it, really? This is the murder site. I wonder if she asked the policeman if he fancied a slice of beef Wellington. You're like, you wouldn't accept anything off Erin, would you? Did she offer him a cup of tea? You wouldn't drink it, would you? You wouldn't even have a glass of water. So there's the table where apparently, well, not apparently, definitely, because she's found guilty. I don't have to say allegedly now, do I? This is what happened. This is where she murdered Don, Gail, and Heather, and nearly managed to finish off Ian at that actual table. Gosh.
9 p.m. on the 5th of August 2023. Detective Sergeant with Darren Patterson, 84 Gibson Street in Lancaster. Thanks for your patience today, Erin. We're completing our search. The only outstanding item is that mobile phone that you've got there. So I'll seize that now from you at 3:29 p.m.
He's mumbling a bit, isn't he? We'll watch this one on here, and then I'll see if I can find a clearer one. Maybe on YouTube I can put the subtitles up. But Erin looks bored, shit-less, doesn't she? She looks completely bored and fed up. She can't believe she's being questioned, can she? She can't believe people aren't accepting her word.
Just pass it to me. Do you need, we've got bank card. Can I just have a look at it before you take it out?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's not the best sound, is it?
Thank you.
We just get the pin code for that too.
Yes, so as I sort of pointed out earlier today, there's a provision in the warrant that requires you to assist us to get into these devices. Is there a PIN code on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
It's either 1315 or 131528. I can't remember which one.
1528. Yeah. I'll check that.
There. Is it opening? Oh, okay. Well,
No, that one.
no one. So there you
Okay,
go. Your job's easy.
Yeah. All right.
Is that it? Is that it? Let's see. Let's find another one. It's got to be a better one than that. Let's try
What
it.
does this new footage show? The first clip, Alicia, shows critical evidence that led to the prosecution of mushroom cook Erin Patterson has been made public for the first time. Gillian Lantouris is at the Supreme Court. Jill, what does this new footage show? The first clip, Alicia, shows Erin Patterson turning up at the Coonawarra tip and dumping the food dehydrator, which was used to cook those death cap mushrooms. She pulls up, takes it out of her boot and dumps it. And this is said to have happened on the day where she was discharged from hospital after claiming she had also fallen ill. Now, the second clip that was shown to the jury, which we are seeing for the first time today, is Erin Patterson on that dining table where that deadly lunch was served. She is being interviewed by a homicide detective who is asking her to hand over her phone. She looks quite despondent as she does so. I'll take you through what happened right now.
Oh, she gave him one of those looks then, didn't she? One of those Erin looks could kill. She looks totally pissed off. I wonder if he's introduced himself as a homicide detective. You know, so it's a very short clip. I thought it was going to be a longer clip than this. But anyway, never mind. We'll take what we're given. I'm going to put the subtitles on just in case. Oh, I can't. It's not letting me have the subtitles. It's not letting me do it. It might be because I haven't gone through Twitter. But see how fed up she looks. And that dirty look she gave him. Let's have a look at that again. And she sort of practically throws the phone at him, doesn't she? He's been nice to her. She's just being really arrogant, just as usual.
Now.
Is there a PIN code on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
It's either 1315 or 131528. I can't remember which one.
Erin Patterson has, of course, been found guilty of 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. She will face court again this Friday, but that will just be a date-setting exercise for her pre-sentencing hearing. Alicia? Okay, Jill, thank you. Critical evidence that led to the prosecution of...
Right, so it's not much, is it, really? Let's have a look. Let's go to this explosive evidence. Maybe I can put the subtitles up on this one. Yeah. No subtitles. Oh, they've put their own subtitles up on it. That's good. Yeah, because it's not easy to hear.
So it's 3:29 p.m. on the 5th of August 2023.
Sitting at the scene of the crime, triple murderer Erin Patterson face to face with police.
Thanks for your patience today, Erin. We're completing our search.
New vision of the mother of two at the dining table where she dished up death cap mushrooms to her relatives 6 days earlier.
Oh, look at her face. Look at her face. Now, you know, imagine if that was your relatives that I mean, at the end of the day, you have poisoned them, even if, as she was trying to say, it was unwittingly, innocently. You'd be distraught, wouldn't you? You would do whatever you could to help. This just shows to me, no wonder the police knew she was guilty, because look at her. You don't sit there like a spoilt child when 3 people have died and another one is critically ill. You would be desperate to help, wouldn't you? You won't be chucking the phone at the policeman who's just trying to find out what's happened. She is such an entitled, narcissist. Like, it's just how it's affecting her. She can't believe she's being questioned, can she? She just can't believe it. And was this the day? What was the day when she managed to talk herself into going into a room on her own and, factory resetting things and disposing of phones? She got away literally with a lot with these police, to be honest. I think there are a few things, although I think the police have done well in this case, there are a few things, but they were probably hoodwinked by Erin, by her normalness, her sort of average sort of housewife. She puts on whatever face she wants to put on is the one she puts on, and she probably has taken in a lot of people. I do think she did hoodwink the police a little bit as far as, getting them to let her be on her own with her phone.
Yeah, this conversation was the end of an hours-long raid of her Leongatha home.
The only outstanding item is that mobile phone that you've got there. So I'll seize that now from you. Is there a PIN code on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
It's either 1315 or 131528. I can't remember which one.
But what she knew and police didn't, this was a dummy phone.
There's a provision in the warrant that requires you to assist us to get into these devices.
Ultimately, we were later to find out that the police believed there was a second mobile phone, so perhaps that helps to explain why she is so calm.
Is it opening? Oh, okay, well. No one, so there you go. Your job's easy.
Yeah.
But the job for police was...
Oh, there you go. Your job's easy. There you go. Your job's easy. Oh, my God. This woman, she is something else. She is.
Far from easy. The mushroom chef had already tried to cover her tracks. This CCTV shown to the jury, now released by the Supreme Court for the world to see. It's the local tip. 2 days after the deadly meal, where Patterson is seen dumping the dehydrator she used to dry out the poisonous mushrooms. Police found it, then found samples of the deadly fungi she...
Now, this is a strange thing, isn't it? Because do you think she did not know there were CCTV cameras at that dump? Is that possible? Erin, who everyone says she's so intelligent and she's this, that and the other. She actually isn't that intelligent, is she? Because she didn't research the dump and whether there were CCTV cameras there or not. Because really, she could have put that dehydrator anywhere, couldn't she? She could have taken it off into the bush or, I don't know, taken it anywhere. But she took it to the dump where there was CCTV camera. Do you think she didn't realise there was? Which I've still got a video to make about these myths about Erin, like she's some sort of genius. She's not a genius. She thinks she's a genius, and other people sometimes think she's a genius. She's clever. I'm not saying she's not clever. She is. Cunning is a better word, but she's never finished off anything she did. you know, she's lost jobs. She went off. She had that problem with drinking and driving when she was younger. Not that young, in her late 20s. She wasn't like a daft teenager. She's not as clever as she thinks she is and everybody else thinks she is. I think she just makes people think she's clever. So why did she just dump it there? You know, why didn't she dump it somewhere else where there might be loads of places where there are no CCTV cameras? Maybe she didn't have time. You know, maybe she was too worried that the police were going to come and search her house and things like that. So maybe she just did that because that was an easy place to take it. I don't know, but she definitely is not as clever as she thinks she is and everybody else does.
Foraged in a calculated and callous murder plot.
That was certainly very compelling evidence against Erin Patterson.
Tonight, one of Australia's most famous mass murderers is awaiting sentencing, facing the likely prospect of a life behind bars. Hope Wilson, 7 News.
Let's watch that again. That was a bit.
3:29 p.m. on the 5th of August 2023.
Sitting at the scene of the crime, triple murderer Erin Patterson face to face with police.
Thanks for your patience today, Erin. We're completing our search.
New vision of the mother of 2 at the dining table where she dished up death cap mushrooms to her relatives 6 days earlier. This conversation was the end of an hours-long raid of her Leon.
Honestly, she's so like a person I know that I've talked about before. Obviously, I'm not going to go into who they are and that, but so similar in their personalities. Oh my God. She is just so rude, isn't she? I mean, look, as I say, so these people are dead. Her relatives.
It was the end of an hours-long raid of her Leongatha home.
And the police, they're trying to find out what happened to them. And she's sat there bored. Well, not bored, is she? She's irritated. She's irritated that she's got to do this, that she's got to go through this. It's interfering with her eating and her life. Like, you know, when she wants to get the bally bag ready for her daughter. You know, she's just... And, you know, how she wouldn't think... just shows again how not clever she is, because just looking at her there would make you suspicious, wouldn't it? You know, does she think that homicide detectives, they haven't interviewed like hundreds of killers and they get a feeling about people, about their body language, their demeanour? Her body language is just screaming out, I am a murderer in my eye, because it's not normal behaviour for somebody whose relatives have died by accident. You know, it's not normal behaviour, is it? She'd be much more accommodating. She'd be trying, you know, if you genuinely were innocent and it was a genuine accident, you'd be distraught, you'd be trying to help. You wouldn't be sat there totally irritated and sat there at the table where she fed them that food. Now, I don't know whether he said, shall we sit here, or she said, shall we sit here? But it just shows that's the other thing. She doesn't even think about it. She couldn't even get their names right when she was blubbering at the car being interviewed. She got all their names wrong. She forgot who was dead, who wasn't dead. Because you know what? She hasn't given them a second thought. She has not given them a second thought. The only thoughts that she gives them is how irritating it is that it was discovered what they died of. How irritating. So they were irritating in life, you know, because they didn't do what she wanted them to do. That's why she murdered them. And now they're even more irritating in death because they're not letting her just get along with her pathetic life. You know, so, you know, just so it's not on it. So if you've done that, just sitting at the table there with the homicide detective, the table where she poisoned them, where she killed them, the murder scene, really, isn't it? It's the murder scene. She just doesn't care. Just does not care. It's breathtaking, in fact.
Outstanding item is that mobile phone that you've got there. So I'll seize that now from you. Is there a PIN code on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
It's either 1315 or 131528. I can't remember which one.
But what she knew and police didn't, this was a dummy phone.
There's a provision in the warrant that requires you to assist us to get into these devices.
Ultimately, we were later to find out that the police believe there was a second mobile phone, so perhaps that helps to explain why she is so calm.
Is it opening? Oh, okay, well,
Don't know one,
no one, so there you go.
Okay.
Your job's easy.
but-
But the job for
Your
police was
job's
far from
easy.
easy. The mushroom chef had already tried to cover her tracks. This CCTV shown.
Oh my God, your job's easy. The more that as I've seen that a couple of times, I'm just thinking, oh my God, she's such a vile person, isn't she? You know, your job's easy. What would she know about jobs? Anyway, she's never been able to hold down a job, has she? You know, she was traffic control. Thank God they got rid of her. Could you imagine Erin one morning waking up and thinking, oh, you know, I don't know, this plane's going to America or whatever, somewhere. It's going to New York, and I don't like people from New York, so you know, let's get rid of this lot. Or I don't like these because they're, I don't know, Chinese or whatever. You could just, Erin, it could not be trusted being an air traffic controller. She cannot be trusted in charge of anybody's life because she's got like a God fantasy thing, hasn't she? A God thing going on. She thinks she has the right to decide who lives and who dies, because as to whether they've irritated her or not. So not only the traffic controller job that she had, but then she was wanting supposedly to train to be a nurse and a midwife. This woman who's supposed to be terrified of hospitals, she wants to be a nurse. She was and a midwife. Oh my God, in control again of people's lives. Thank God she didn't get a chance to do that, hey? Thank God. Erin cannot be in charge of other people's lives in any way, shape or form, you know? So yeah, she's saying to him, oh, your job's easy. Maybe she'd like to be a homicide detective as well. She's never held down a job. She's not had to work. She's a millionaire. She was just left money. And what did she do with it? You know, if you're in a fortunate position where you left all that money, I mean, she apparently lent some, didn't she, to Simon's relatives. But again, as I've said before, that's just her being Lady Bountiful. Oh, look at me, money bags, Erin. Yes, I'll lend you the money as long as you're always, you know, bound straight to me for the rest of your life. But if you don't, then I'm going to poison your relatives. It's like she gives you something. She gives them something. So that she can just be superior. She's not giving it out of the goodness of her heart. You know, there's a price to pay with accepting, you know, talk about beware of Greeks bearing gifts, beware of Erin Patterson type people bearing gifts, because there's always a price to pay. And the price to pay is bigger than the financial price. But imagine, you know, somebody who had the opportunity to do nice things, you know, become a nurse, become a midwife, do the good things with your money. I swear I think that Erin will have done things before. I don't believe this is the first time that she's ever tried to hurt somebody in some way who didn't go along with her. I bet there's been a pattern of it in her whole life. Honestly, that's what I think. And who knows, will anything ever come out? Will the police stick with this now? At the end of the day, she's going to get a long sentence, isn't she? Will the offences against Simon, alleged offences against Simon, ever come to any fruition? Will there ever be anything else? I don't know, but I'm sure there are other things.
To the jury, now released by the Supreme Court for the world to see. It's the local tip. 2 days after the deadly meal, where Patterson is seen dumping the dehydrator she used to dry out the poisonous mushrooms. Police found it, then found samples of the deadly fungi she foraged in a calculated and callous murder plot.
That was certainly very compelling evidence against Erin Patterson.
Tonight, one of Australia's most famous mass murderers is awaiting sentencing, facing the likely prospect of a life behind bars. Hope Wilson, 7 News.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, she is completely ungroomed, and I know it shouldn't matter, but at least buy yourself a decent jumper or something, or she was complaining about her body image, wasn't she? That she'd always had bad body image. This is suddenly something she's coming out with. Well, if you are, the thing is, you have to just make the best of what you've got. There's not many of us out there that have got perfect bodies. Probably all of us have got things about ourselves we don't like. So what we have to do is make the best of what we've got. So yeah, if you haven't got you can't be, not everybody can be a model. So that doesn't mean say you can't make the best of what you got. But she didn't care. And you know why she doesn't care? Because, so all this about a body image and that, I think that's rubbish. I don't think she ever really cares what anyone else thinks of her or what she looks like. And this friend of mine, or ex-friend of mine, she was like that as well. She literally just didn't care because she's so up herself and she's so self-important and narcissistic. She doesn't care what she looks like because she doesn't have to worry about what other people think of her. And, I'm not talking about being obsessed with what you look like. And it is how you feel that counts, not other people. But the thing is, if for someone who's saying they've got a low body image, this, that, and the other, and all the things she came out with, well, make an effort then at least, make an effort, to do. So she just does it. She doesn't care because she's so superior to everything. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as far as Erin is concerned. Right, let's go and have a look, see if there's anything else that's coming up. On X. I'm on X looking at the different things about Erin. So, yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, this was a funny thing. This came up on X. Do you think this is some guy who apparently was so obsessed with the Erin Patterson trial that his wife left him and he took his own life? But I don't know if that's true. I don't really know anything about that. I don't know about that. So I'm not going to look at that actually because I don't know the whole situation behind it. Oh, where's it gone? Where's my Erin Patterson gone? So didn't they say that this Friday there's going to be a court hearing? So we'll be looking at that. It's all leading up now to her sentencing. More things will come out. It says 2 new, yeah. So what's come out recently is this video of when she dumps the dehydrator and then that clip. So it's not the whole interview with the policeman. And I don't know if I showed you this. Yeah, this was supposedly from her Instagram. This came out on July. Why would you have done that? A rare, poignant Instagram post, a window into the mushroom killer's strange world. So I'm not sure why. Again, I actually don't know the truth of this. What is it about? Just some of the crazy things like that came out onto. Let's see. Oh, look, my video. I've done a lot of videos, of course, about it. There's Ian. I might have a look at that article in a minute. I don't want to watch her crying again. A lot of my videos coming up there. Let's just have a look at that article then. So yeah, those two, I bet it's behind a paywall. Yep, it's behind a paywall, so can't be looking at that. Let me just have a little Google just to see if there's anything more. So they're the two bits of new information that have been released. I think there'll be more. I think there'll be more coming up, don't you? Yeah, so all over the news is just those two. That clip from the interview around the table. Let's have a look at this. Just looking to see if there's anything different up there, but yeah, no, they're talking about the ban on selling a house. So remember, there's been a ban put on selling a house. There's been like a restraining order put on her selling her house just in case she has to pay any compensation to the victims. Look, she looks better groomed since she's gone to prison than she did when she was out. Doesn't she? Yeah, I honestly don't know where this super sleuth nickname came from for Erin. She's obviously, her group that she was a part of, they weren't as good as our community, our true crime community. I mean, you know, it's like, my God, you know, fancy calling her a super sleuth. I'd like to see some of the posts from that Facebook group, you know, her posts. So she was, you know, on there talking about some other true crime that had happened, and all the time she was plotting to murder these poor people, wasn't she? Gosh. So yeah, the Leongatha house, we looked at this the other day, but I'll read it out again because some people might not have seen that other video, is now subject to a restraining order on its sale in case her victims' families make a compensation claim. Now, I hope her kids are okay. Somebody mentioned them earlier. I think it was Tracy. Yeah, I hope her kids are okay. And initially, I felt a bit sorry for them in the sense of, I thought, well, they've lost their grandparents and now they've lost their mum as well. But you know what? I think it's the best thing that could happen to them. I think those kids were in severe danger with Erin because, you know, if not now when they're young, but later on down the line, who knows what Erin might have done to those children, you know, as they grew up into adults. And then, of course, they'd be bringing partners into the mix, wouldn't they? Would their partners be safe? Anyone who Erin thought was not on her side or might be detrimental to what, you know, her point of view. Do you imagine her son bringing home his new girlfriend and Erin didn't like her? It'd be like, oh yeah, invite her around for lunch on Sunday. We'll have beef Wellington. You know, and he'd be like, oh, my mum's invited you around for beef Wellington. And she'd be like, I thought she didn't like me. Yeah, you know, you couldn't, oh my God, you know, there's so much potential for more damage that Erin could have done to those children. And so, although it is horrible and I really do feel for them, my heart goes out to them. They've had a lucky escape. At the end of the day, they've had a lucky escape, not being brought up by Erin, you know, because Erin does not take criticism gladly. And, you know, kids, you know, they do criticize you. Oh my God, of course they do. God, your kids, you get a lot of love from them, but they also, at the end of the day, they're always, as they get older, of course, they know everything better than you, don't they? I did it with my parents. I've experienced it with my son. Nothing you say is right. So I'm sure Erin would have got all that from her kids as they got older and older. And as I say, when they brought other people into the mix, like partners, if she didn't approve of them, her way of getting round them is, oh yeah, invite them round for beef Wellington. Once she'd got away, and also if she got away with it again, because it seems like she did get away with it before, it just then would embolden her, wouldn't it? What would her next step be? Do you know, like who would irritate her next? Let's just imagine that they had all died. I don't know how that would ever have been explained. Did she, it was a crazy thing to do, really, when you think about it, to poison 4 people all at once. Obviously it's going to grab some attention, isn't it? What did she think that the hospitals were going to say they died of? Like gastroenteritis. And just because they were elderly, they succumbed to it. It's just crazy. So again, she's not intelligent. She's not intelligent to do that, to kill them all at once, like in one fell swoop, in this sort of Shakespearean way. That's not clever. If she was clever and she really, wanted to get rid of them, she would have done it one by one. And I'm not giving people tips on how to murder someone, but at the end of the day, if one of those people at that lunch would have fallen ill and died, it wouldn't have clamoured the same attention, would it, from the doctors or whatever? So she let her emotions get, her hatred, her spite, her nastiness, let it all get the better of her, didn't it? And she just did them all at once. And the only, she may have misjudged the quantities. She may not have meant to kill them. But then why did she tell them all she had cancer? That the prosecution said she told them all she had cancer because she knew that nobody would be able, nobody would be talking about that after. She would never get caught out in that lie because they'd all be dead. That's what Nanette Rogers said, the prosecution, the very good prosecution. But how did she think she would get away with killing 4 people all at once? Strange. Very, very strange, evil person. Probably, as I say, the most, one of the most, if not the most. I think, when we come to the twonk of the year, at the end of the year, at New Year, I do the twonk of the year. Erin, she's got to be a massive contender, hasn't she? Because this is, people commit terrible crimes, and obviously we report on it because it's a true crime channel. But I think this is the planning that was involved, the sitting there watching the meat, praying with them, knowing that they were going to die as she said goodbye to them, pretending she was ill, saying everybody was a liar except her. Everyone was mistaken except her. Everything. You put it all together, it's an explosive mix of real evil, isn't it? So apparently the law firm that defended Patterson, Doogie and George, had previously taken out a mortgage on the property as a surety that her legal bills would be paid. That's strange, isn't it? So so let's not forget she's a convicted triple murderer. She will not be able to access, use or sell the property before any potential claims from the victims are dealt with. So this law firm that defended her had previously taken out a mortgage on the property. And after a lengthy trial and potential appeals process, Patterson is expected to face a legal bill upwards of $1 million. And the meal's sole survivor, Ian Wilkinson, could be the first in line to apply for compensation. Because not only was Ian left in the intensive care unit after consuming the lunch, he tragically lost his wife, Heather, 66, and they shared 4 children. I don't know if Ian will claim, just the sort of person he is, or if he claims and gives it to the church, maybe. You know, he's not going to be interested in the money, I don't think. I think that's just not, you know, he's not a money-motivated person. That's just the impression that I get. But he may do it just because she deserves it, you know. And then, of course, you've got Don and Gail Patterson, and they've left behind the 4 children, including Simon, Erin's husband, and then Erin's 2 children. They're not, well, they won't be counted as victims, will they, to make a claim? I don't really understand how it works. But yes, Simon could make a claim. But Simon and Erin are still married, so I don't know how Simon fits into all this. So the potential sale of the house to help compensate her victims could come as a big blow to Patterson, who had considered it her dream home. I saw it as the final house, meaning I wanted it to be a house where the children would grow up, where once they moved away for university or work, they could come back and stay whenever they liked, bring their children, and I'd grow old there. That's what I hoped. So apparently now they're saying that Patterson could avoid a life sentence in jail after doctors diagnosed her with a rare psychological condition 2 years ago. So according to the Daily Mail Australia, she was diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome by prison doctors. I hope they're not going to put all this on. She's just evil. So the condition is a mental disorder where a person fakes illness to receive attention, sympathy, or other psychological benefits. No. She deserves a life sentence. She's a cruel murderer. Liar, murderer. Anyway. And she killed people who cared about her. I'm sure the judge will take that into account. She said these people, you know, how they cared about her. And she still killed them. Do you know, they were nice people. They were good people. That's got to count. So it says here, while submissions about medical conditions can earn offenders discounts on their sentences, it's thought in Patterson's case her penalty could be severe. It needs to be severe. It needs to be the most severe that it can be. She will likely face a life sentence for the 3 murders, and the real question will be as if she is ever granted a chance at parole. Poor Ian, bless him. Now, will he give a victim impact statement? You know, will Simon, who will and who won't? So there's a lot to come still with this case. Hey. Yeah. Oh, it's like a house of horrors, isn't it, that house? Who would want to live there? Who would buy it? You know? Hi, Annie. Hello, nice to see you. Hope you haven't got the storm there either. So, God, this awful woman, isn't she? Awful, awful, awful woman. I don't think they get much worse than Erin, honestly. You know, everyone we talk about is, you know, not a very nice person just for the fact of this channel being a true crime channel. But Erin's, you know, she's special evil, isn't she? Special evil from Erin. Okay, I've got to go and make lunch, and then later I've got to teach some more Spanish. Thank you for watching, and thank you, of course, for caring about these victims. We always must come back to the victims. Don, Gail, Heather and Ian, they're the ones that suffered at this woman's hands. Well, the ones we know about. Who knows what she's done in the past? I won't be surprised if there's a lot more to come out about Erin. Whether she's got Munchausen's or not, I don't care. Don't care if she's got Munchausen's. That still means she should never be allowed out of prison, and she shouldn't, certainly even in prison, shouldn't be allowed around anything to do with cooking food, should she? Oh, Annie, it's windy there, second gazebo. Oh dear. Yep, no remorse whatsoever. No remorse in those eyes. Awful woman. Okay, I will be back later today. If I'm not on a live, I've got premiere. I've got a very interesting video that I prepared earlier. And I'll put it out on a premiere. Probably won't do a live later on today, but I will do a premiere. So you can all chat to each other. I'll put that up in a bit. Very interesting, I think. Give you food for thought. How far should we go when we forgive someone? Now, do you think Ian? I think Ian will forgive Erin, because Ian, the survivor, he is a religious man. He's a good man. You can see that when we've seen him talk. Just a good, nice man. I'm sure he will forgive Erin. But how far do you go with forgiving? We're going to be talking about somebody who not only forgave the person who had killed her loved ones, but had them in her house, gave them a job. How do you think that ended up? So that's what we'll be talking about in the premiere that I'm going to release tonight. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and why not become a member? I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you.